watching East Tennessee weather. Weather when you want it.
Believe in Nashville. Believe in Memphis, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. Believe in communities where people take care of each other. Believe in staying true to your word and treating others the way you'd want to be treated. We do, because we believe in you. We're Farm Bureau Insurance, and we don't just believe in Tennessee, we believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance, Tennessee's insurance company.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, where's that music? Why is that music on here? Let's get rid of that music. Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Happy Monday, everybody. Sure hope you had a great weekend. What a stormy weekend it was around East Tennessee. We saw some nasty weather for sure, especially yesterday with those clusters of showers and thunderstorms rolling their way on through. Sorry, I'm a little behind here this morning. We've got a lot to talk about because what we saw yesterday is likely to come back into action several more rounds. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and show you some video from Dollywood yesterday. Saw some incredible video from Dollywood yesterday where we saw flooding and flash flooding. And so much so that all this water went inside some of the stores. Terrible news there. By the way, this was sent in by Sophie Elkins Valenti. Sophie, thanks so much for allowing us to share that here on East Tennessee weather. But again, that's going to be the story. And we've been talking about that for several days now with the rounds of showers and thunderstorms rolling their way on through you. That's what's going to be a concern is we went from an extremely hot, dry weather pattern to an extremely wet weather pattern. And now we're getting that northwesterly flow. So yesterday, the storms moved their way from southwest to northeast. But over the next few days, those storms are going to move their way from northwest to southeast. So let's talk about the rainfall that we saw over the last 24 hours. We saw incredible amounts of rain. Don't know why the music keeps popping up there. Incredible amounts of rain that were showing up around the area. Yeah, that's why. All right, here we go. And so we saw tons of rain, Hardin Valley to Powell, Carnes, up into southern Union County. And, of course, that video showing you the extreme rain that we saw in Sevier County up by Pigeon Forge, stretching across the eastern sections of Sevier County. That's right along Veterans Parkway. We saw some flooding and flash flooding. And again, from Halls to Carnes, Oak Ridge to Farragut and Kingston, anywhere in between, we saw incredible amounts of rain. Got some photos to share with you at the end of the broadcast, so make sure you stay tuned. Now, we do have, like I said, a lot to talk about. So this is going to be an extended forecast. I want you just to kick back, relax, and pay attention to how this is all going to play out here over the next couple of days. All right, so temperature-wise, it's nice that we've actually seen some average to below average temperatures. We saw that yesterday, an average day, 88 degrees was the high. Picked up 62 hundredths of an inch of rain officially at McGee-Tyson, 26 hundredths in Chattanooga, and 23 hundredths of an inch of rain in Tri-Cities, but still a couple of scattered light rain showers moving their way on out. So I think the story for the day today is you see that southwesterly flow moving its way to the northeast. That switches here throughout the afternoon, and again, that northwesterly flow pattern takes shape. Do have a little bit of fog out there, banked up against the mountain counties and up towards, say, the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Actually, we've got some pretty cool view of the fog showing up there in Gatlinburg here. How about that? A nice, drying Gatlinburg anyways at this hour. So the fog is going to be a little bit for some of us here this morning, but not everybody. Now, temperatures are about where we were yesterday, so not that big of a deal if you happen to be up at 7:07 on a Sunday morning, or maybe you're just out hanging out, sleeping in, and hopefully you were. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, so mild and comfortable. Now, here's the story for the next 24 hours. This runs from now through tomorrow morning. The Weather Prediction Center has put us under a level 2 risk for some localized flooding and flash flooding concerns. Now, with that said, you got to find out the rest of the story because most of that's not going to happen today. Like I said, that's a 24-hour period. Most of that's going to come through overnight tonight. So here's your Futurecast model. We'll pick up our timeline here this morning. Again, we've had a couple of spotty showers. Those will quickly move on out. But watch that southwesterly flow shift to the westerly and is starting to switch its way to a northwesterly flow. But again, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of activity throughout the day today. Okay, so we got that going for us, right? If you work outside, maybe a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms. That should be about the extent of it. Most of the rain that you see on the map there is not through the day. It's from this morning. And from late last night and through the overnight hours. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has also put us under a level 1 risk for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. But as I just showed you on the Futurecast, not much activity. But this also runs through the 24-hour period. So that's going to happen overnight tonight into the first part of our day tomorrow. By lunchtime, we're going to see those temperatures climb into the upper 70s, forecast highs back in the mid 80s, but high humidity, which is what we've been dealing with all weekend long, just a warm blanket of moist air wrapping around us. Dew points in the 70s. That's going to make our feels like temperatures again here today in the mid 90s. So it's going to be a warm and muggy evening. Not a lot of thunderstorm activity expected across the area. Maybe a chance here or there, but most of us are likely to stay a little bit on the drier side. By the way, good morning, Mel, Katrina. We've got Kimberly on here. We've got Krista joining us, Felicia, Brian. We've got Dwayne. Good morning, Dwayne. Aaron's on here as well. So everybody, thanks for joining us this morning. All right, and I want to know your stories. Did you get extreme rain yesterday? And if you did you upload any photos to Witcher's Pictures? I only got a few. All right, so here we go. So let's talk about that severe weather risk again, because that, like I said, is not through the day today. Today is a much drier day, but it's overnight tonight. And it's likely to be with us as we get into the morning commute tomorrow morning. So 24 hours from right now, we're going to be dealing with this. A cluster of showers and thunderstorms racing their way from northwest to southeast. Got a big old disturbance. And that, my friends, is where we could see the flooding and flash flooding concerns. That is also where we could see the severe weather risk that's going to ramp up around the area. So again, Tuesday into Wednesday. So today into tomorrow into Wednesday, we do have level 1 and level 2 risk, mostly level 2 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns. And also, again, another risk day through the day tomorrow, another risk. So basically the story is tomorrow morning, we have a chance, and through the day tomorrow into Wednesday is going to be our greatest risk for severe storms and flooding and flash flooding concerns. So let's pick up our timeline tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. We've got this cluster of thunderstorms coming on through. It's going to linger through about the lunch hour. We've got a lot of moisture that's probably going to back build, and that's going to be a concern because if from sunrise through noon, if we continue to see showers and thunderstorms in that northwesterly flow, it looks like a train going over the same locations, that's going to add more water to the moisture, to the soil. 3 o'clock, we may get a break, but watch this. 3 to 7 o'clock, here comes another round of showers and thunderstorms. So clusters of storms will continue in that northwesterly flow pattern. So it's basically tomorrow morning through tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then we'll do it again on into our Wednesday morning as another round of showers and thunderstorms moves on in. So rainfall totals, again, don't take these numbers to heart, but just know that over the last 24 hours, over the last week, we've seen pockets of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches, 6 inches of rainfall around the area. So if you've seen the heavy rain day in and day out, and you get these torrential downpours, because here's the other side of the story. I say torrential downpours because the atmosphere is water loaded with moisture. And so that's what's going to give us the extreme downpours, the tropical-like downpours, the kind that just piles up on the roads really quickly, that gets the creeks rising very fast. Now, again, we don't have any flooding out there this morning, but the creeks are starting to rise. So let's talk about our storm threats here for a second. And before we go to the big picture and talk about, show you kind of the broad perspective of how this is all going to play out. So when we talk about our storm threats, again, with these clusters of storms, damaging winds will be the greatest risk. That's typically what we see when we get these clusters coming on through. Now, hail's small, maybe, but hail's not a major player. Why? Because our freezing level's too high. When our freezing level is too high, you get full melting of that hailstone before it reaches the surface, and so we don't typically get any hail, but maybe some small hail. I've got flooding and flash flooding on the higher category. Probably should put that to the extreme category, but it's on the high category. Efficient rain producers with a saturated ground in many locations is going to lead to the flash flood threat. But also notice tornadoes. Tornadoes, I said possible, but not likely. Now, we do have a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and we can get quick little spin ups with some of these disturbances that come on through, okay? So just something to keep in mind. But we don't have a lot of low-level instability. We have mid-level instability, but not a lot of low-level instability. So, again, I'm going to keep tornadoes on the low side, but not likely that that's going to be the major player, okay? It's damaging winds and flood threats is going to be the major players. So 3-day forecast today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, you're going to see those temperatures gradually warm. So we're going to see those temps get a lot hotter. And actually, by the end of the week, we will be dealing with the possibility of near record highs and also heat index values pushing close to heat advisory criteria. So let's go to the chat and say hi to everyone here real quick and see how the weekend was. Then we'll go back to the big picture to broaden the perspective. And again, I know this is an extended forecast because we have just so much to talk about, which is nice. It's nice to be able to do that on this platform without having to be timed out. You can time yourself out, but I'm here just going to talk anyways. All right, so how was the weekend? Did everyone enjoy the weekend? I got a chance to get out on the paddleboard this weekend. So what was that, Saturday night, I guess it was? My wife was working. We had a little bit of an event. We had an event to go to just at neighbor's house down the street. She was having a pool party. And it was going on all day, but we couldn't go until my wife got home from work. So it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and my wife was getting ready to get home at like 5:30. We wanted to head down to the house at 6, but my oldest son was like, I really want to go paddleboarding. I was like, buddy, by the time we pack all this up, get our swimsuits on, walk down to the lake, get on the lake, we're going to get out to the cove and then have to turn around and come right back. But you know what I said? I said, you know what? Life is not just about me and my experiences and what I want to do. So I said, yeah, absolutely, son, let's go. I don't care if we're out there for 10 minutes. It's worth the memories. And so what did we do? Just him and I, because my youngest son went across the street to play because he didn't want to go. But you know what it turned out to be? It turned out to be probably one of my most favorite moments with him because we got to sit there and talk. And of course, he's older. He's 11, so he talks a little bit more. I can have more of a conversation with him. And we just got out in the water. We sat in the water and just swam for a little bit and just talked. And stayed out there for about 30, 40 minutes. And I was like, all right, buddy, it's time to go home. He goes, okay, cool. That was fun. And we went back in, packed up the paddle boards, and walked back home. And lo and behold, my wife was driving home at that time. So it just kind of worked out perfectly. And we got ready for our event. We still got to go hang out with our friends. But, you know, I think sometimes as parents, as adults, we get into the rush of life. We think about the things that we want to do. If you're selfish enough, sometimes it happens. Not judging, been there, done that. But, you know, and sometimes you just got to kick back, relax, and say, okay, wait a second. What is life all about? It's all about memories. We can make all the money in the world, but what good is that, right? Buys us cool things, but you can't go to the grave with that, right? You go to the grave with memories and thoughts and relationships and the relationships that you built through your lifetime. And so I'm glad I did that. I told my wife about that. And she goes, you know what? I'm glad you did it too. I was like, you were probably a little concerned that we were going to be stuck on the lake and you were going to go down to this party by yourself. She goes, well, maybe a little bit. I said, nope. We were ready for you, and we made it work, and it was a lot of fun. So anyways, what else did I do? I worked on my built-ins a little bit more, but waiting for a buddy of mine to come kind of guide me a little bit on the built-ins that I'm doing because he's that's used to be his profession, was a finisher, like a fine woodworker kind of guy. And so he understands the fine-tuning, the finishing work, which is sometimes the hardest work, is the finishing work. Anyways. We'll get that done. Kids go back to school, a week and a half? And so the goal is to have this all done in a week and a half. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But Felicia says, last night in South Knoxville was crazy. We had another creek through our yard. Yeah. I mean, it was nuts. And where they built this building, we got a mud flow now coming through our carport. It's terrible. I got to fix that. But Lee says the golf course was a little bit was flooded. Mel says, can this rain move over the folks that need it? Yes. I know there have been actually some on social media saying, hey, listen, I have not really hardly seen anything at all. Kind of feast or famine at this point of the game, isn't it? Let's see. What else we got? I haven't had a chance to look yet, Buck, but I will look right now. I did get your text message, by the way, your message saying you had PM'd me a video. I don't know if it's the same video that I just showed. But we'll see if I can't find it. And so if I can't find it, I'll put it on the broadcast. But let's see here. Let's see if we got any other videos. I don't see any right here off the top of my head. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get it at the moment, Buck. But I'll look for it and check for it later. My wife celebrated her birthday yesterday, although she worked. But the kids and I, when she got up in the morning, gave her flowers and Andy's mints. She loves Andy's mints. Gave her some roses, some pink roses. And a big old happy birthday. And a cup of coffee, of course, because she had to go to work. You got a ton of rain, did you? Yeah, it was nasty. It was funny. I played pickleball yesterday and started at like 12:30 in the afternoon. And they're like, oh, yeah, you said you weren't going to see us. Oh, I was in a pickleball tournament in Clinton, by the way. for the Clinton High School volleyball team. It was a big fundraiser, so played that on Saturday morning. I was talking to some of the guys who play in the pickleball league that I play at Orange Hat on Sundays, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll see you tomorrow." I go, "Nah, I don't know if you will. I don't think we're gonna have the afternoon games. Showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain." They're like, "Oh, we'll see you tomorrow. You guys are always wrong anyways." Well, I played the noon games because I had to fill in for some people. And so we played on the competitive league at noon, 12:30 in the afternoon. Then we played until about 2. Well, the afternoon games were supposed to start about 2:30. Had one big deluge come through, looked at the radar, and was like, "Yep, here we go." And some of those guys were like, I said, "I told you so. I told you we weren't going to play the afternoon games." You have a large bird bath that was almost dry, and now it's overflowing from last night. Oh, that's going to be a story. More flooding, big flooding concerns are on the way, I would say, because we just have efficient rain producers. And we saw that yesterday, how fast and how quickly did that water rise, especially on the roads, of course, and the small creeks. But what's up, Dustin? How are you, buddy? It has been a hot minute. It's a canoe ride in the yard. Yay. I mean, I would just say, I hate to be cliche-ish, but turn around, don't drown. If you come through a flooded water tonight, tomorrow morning, through the next couple of days, don't drive through it. Turn around, go a different direction. Water's very efficient eroders, right? Look at the Grand Canyon. Look what the Colorado River did. Efficient eroders. So that was about it. What did we do for Janelle's birthday? Nothing. Well, we did. We went bowling and went out to dinner with some friends the other night. Because knowing that she had to work on her birthday, we went out, I think it was like Thursday night or something like that. And so that was a lot of fun. Kids being out of school, me working from home makes it a little bit easier to be able to go do things on the weekdays, which is nice. See you, Brian. Have a good day at work, buddy. Millions of gallons of water, Dollywood, yesterday. Yes, indeed. And I checked in on the Little Pigeon River, actually, that runs through Gatlinburg and whatnot, and so far, so good. So the river levels are doing good. But I will be concerned about these river levels as we progress through time. Oh, you completed your shiplap in your dining room. Nice. Does it look good? Are you happy with it? I don't think you ever answered my question, though, Julie. Did you actually use real shiplap, like the expensive kind that's thick boards you can or did you use a cheaper kind to put up over your drywall? It doesn't kind of like interconnect, if you will. Awesome view of Douglas Lake this morning, I bet. Rained really hard. What's up, Roger? How are you this morning? Ran really hard for about 30 minutes. Is that all you got? Oh, thanks, buddy. I am a blessed man. But you got to take time to enjoy those blessed moments, don't you think? Wouldn't you say? No, you're not. I just put it on TV. Just kidding. We'll take that down. You can't throw stuff out there like that, Krista. If you're playing, unless she doesn't live here and she's not watching the program. She worked all weekend, Buck, but yeah, she had a nice weekend, I think. That's right. Goes by fast, doesn't it? I mean, my kid's going into 3rd and 5th grade. Like, how did I keep him alive this long? Don't you ever look at your life and be like, how'd you keep him alive this long? Lots of coffee, patience, and trying to create memories. Yeah, it's probably a cart path week, isn't it? Okay, let's go to the big picture. We'll go back to chat here in just a second. Let me just show you the big picture of how this is all playing out. Okay, so like I told you, the pattern is going to shift from a southwesterly to northeasterly flow to a northwesterly to a southeasterly flow. So there's our storm track. And so that's what's bringing these disturbances. Big ridge of high pressure across the southern central plains. And so we're on the eastern side of that ridge, and that's what's going to help to create that northwesterly flow. And that's typical this time of the year. We get these, these clusters of thunderstorms. Mesoscale convective systems, or complexes, is what they call it. Produce damaging wind, widespread flooding, and just little nasty storms. So you can see around the region how we have that flash flood risk for the day today, along with a severe weather risk. So anybody up in Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, greater risk for severe storms. But again, damaging wind would be the main threat. Watch as this flow moves its way in that northwesterly pattern. So again, you can see our winds are shifting. Storms are moving their way to the east, kind of to the east throughout the day today. And then that flow shifts to the northwest. and watch this big old cluster of thunderstorms develop into Indiana, push their way into Kentucky, and then down into East Tennessee. And so it's going to hold together. And so these cluster of thunderstorms hold into the energy during the overnight hours. That's a lot of times when you get heat lightning, you hear about heat lightning. It's storms like this or storms off in the distance at nighttime. Oh, that's heat lightning. No, you just can't hear the thunder. There's no such thing as heat lightning. We've had that conversation on the broadcast before. So the overall setup for Tuesday, storm track shifts a little bit further to our south. So I think most of the stormy weather tomorrow morning will be Knox County northeast towards Tri-Cities. And then through the day tomorrow and into Wednesday, it might just encompass most of East Tennessee as the storm track kind of shifts. But again, Tuesday and Wednesday, again, another day of strong to severe thunderstorms and also potential for some localized flooding and flash flooding concerns. So you can see how Tuesday's going to play out. Cluster of thunderstorms hanging out with us. Tuesday night into Wednesday, here comes another cluster of thunderstorms. So all this energy kind of wrapping around this ridge of high pressure and just a very unstable, moist, buoyant atmosphere is what's going to lead to those showers and thunderstorms. So rain chances are elevated today and tomorrow, and then start to come down a little bit more, at least coverage-wise, as we get into our Wednesday. Thursday, big ridge of high pressure brings us a lot of heat, a lot of sinking air, near record high temperatures, and so therefore I think we're going to take those rain chances out. But the rain chances start to build back up a little bit as we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can see that northwesterly flow pattern does. You can see how across the Great Lakes, upper Midwest, up the Northeast, and the Appalachian region is going to get the majority of the rain over the next 3, 5, and 7 days. And it's going to pile up quickly in some locations. Broad brushing it, probably about 2.5 inches of rainfall. But locally, we'll get a lot more than that. Dew points stay elevated. So because dew points will be in the mid-70s, that's like Gulf moisture. That's like, super humid. So as this ridge of high pressure in the upper parts of the atmosphere builds on in, that warms our temperatures up. So we're going to be in the low to mid-90s. So it's been nice to get a break from the extreme heat, but here comes the extreme heat. Dew points in the mid-70s, high temperatures in the mid-90s. That puts our heat index values back close to heat advisory criteria, which is 105 degrees or hotter. So, yeah. It can be toasty. With all this rain in place, we're likely to have some patchy dense fog developing, and this weather pattern is probably going to stick with us for the first couple of weeks of August. So we are going to be trending on the hotter side. So I know it goes without saying, but I have to say there may be some new folks on here that may not always be on the chat, because I did talk to several people say, hey, we watch you every morning, but we don't ever tune into the chat. So if you watch, hopefully you have the East Tennessee Weather app. I got several downloads this past weekend saying, hey, listen, check this out. This is what you need to do. And the number one complaint I get is the Weather Channel app. Well, the Weather Channel says it's going to do this. I go, right. That's the Weather Channel. They're covering the whole world. Let's concentrate on what's going on here at home. They're like, all right, I'll check your app out. And then we kind of compared radars and futurecasts and stuff like that. So again, you'll get pushed. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Because with this active pattern, if we get severe weather, you'll get notified. If we get flooding, flash flooding, you'll get notified. If lightning is within 15 miles of your location, you'll get notified. If I need to break in and do severe weather coverage, you will get notified. All right. So how about them apples? Big old story of storms on the way. It was nice to be on the porch yesterday evening. It is nice evening to be on the porch. What's up, Brian? Oh, you're right. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, you're right. It was the Anderson County volleyball team, not the Clinton High School. You're right, and they usually go to, didn't you say they usually go to state like every year, Brian? I think that's what they said as well. So thank you for the update on that. But it was a lot of fun. I was out there for like 5.5 hours, and I didn't even make it to the finals. They played until like 6 o'clock at night. So it was an all-day pickleball tournament. Lots of fun. But again, Brian, thank you very much. Hummingbirds were active yesterday. Take the rain over the fire. Well, that's true. That's true. Water is super destructive. I know the paving on I-75 got rained out last night in Campbell County. Probably the case. And construction, this is hard for construction because now all these footers and stuff like that they put down get flooded out. Can't lay concrete when they don't have enough time to let the concrete cure. So this is not always good, although they can do quick concrete. I know there's several different ways to do concrete. I know that. I talked to them when I was getting the studio built. But yeah, 61, that's amazing. Made a wooden mallet. Nice. And you cut strips from plywood. There you go. Make it the cheaper way, right? Did your strips go on? Are they pretty straight? Because cutting plywood's hard, especially if you're cutting a 4x8 piece of plywood. How thick did you make them, Julie? 7.5 inches, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. French broad's doing fine. So no issues on the French broad. I do have some maps as ready to go. If we do have some flooding concerns, I'll be able to show you easily and efficiently the flood levels. So again, I was looking at that this morning. Let me see if I can show you. We'll come here. So this is the flood guidance and rivers and lakes. So here's the French Broad right here. So the French Broad below. Let's see, where does it say? French Broad River below Douglas Dam. We're doing fine. So no issues there. We'll come over to Newport where we have the usually concerns with the French Broad. You can see we're doing okay there. So no issues. Action would be 8 feet. Minor would be 10 feet. And we're doing great with the French Broad, or the Pigeon River at Newport. So seem to be handling this water fairly well so far, which is great. So far, we've talked a lot about weather. It's 7:30. Have I worn your ears out with weather? Well, let's dance. Shall we, my friends? Come on, Kimberly. Here's a little dip for you. We don't have that many there this morning. We don't have that many. I think we only have 3. So here are your national holidays for the day today. We've got National Lipstick Day. I'll forego that, but thank you very much. It's National Chicken Wing Day. I do like me some chicken wings. Made some awesome smoked chicken wings not too long ago. Those turned out really good. And it's National Lasagna Day. Anybody here like lasagna? I love lasagna. Love lasagna. Well, that was short and sweet. And there are no issues on the interstate system here this morning, so traffic is running smoothly. We'll take a look at a couple of the cameras here around town. Let's come over to 40 and Paper Mill, see what it looks like. Come on, load. Load. Not going to load, is it? Let's try this one. Well, they are showing, it says Knoxville area is not showing the camera feeds, but so none of the camera feeds are working. You can see that at the top of the screen. Working diligently to fix it as soon as possible. No estimates for when the issue will be fixed. Thank you for your patience. You're welcome, T-Dot. We will move right along, shall we? Praying for lots of Jesus. There you go. Did you like it? Did you like the dance? Your grandson caught his first fish. I was so blessed to be with my grandson on his first fish and deer. Neither one of you will ever forget that. That's amazing. Those are the memories I'm talking about. If we can't slow dance, let's get down and boogie. We just did. My friend. You have to go make breakfast. Are you making us breakfast, Betty? Aw, hopefully it's a good old breakfast. We're doing some eggs and bacon and sausage and all the things. Let's dance. It's good for the soul, isn't it? Dancing Machine Mikey, I'm not one to dance. I'm going to bite the bottom lip, stick the thumbs up. Yeah. Are you ready for the kids to go back to school, Krista? Oh, that's nice, Cheryl. It's nice to see them, I'm sure. You don't like YouTube, they have commercials. What are you talking about? Anybody watching the Olympics? I was watching the women's U.S. soccer team yesterday. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was a good game. I actually don't know who actually won. Watching the skateboarding. Watched a little bit of the skateboarding yesterday with the Olympics. What's up, RD? How are you this morning? All right, here's a good PSA from Felicia. For the women out there, be heart health aware. It's always nice. It's always good to be heart health, no matter what gender you are, of course. She says, a year ago, I thought I was having bad heartburn. Instead, I had 100% blockage and a heart attack at 45. Doing fine now, but I have to stay around for these kiddos. Oh, man, I'm so glad you're doing fine now. My dad had a heart attack as well, been through all that kind of stuff. Gotta have heart health. You got to get out and walk, got to get out and exercise, which is a good thing. I got to think about that myself. I've not exercised a lot recently. Been trying to convince myself to get back into the gym. Well, we have a home gym, but and get to working out and lose a few of these summertime LBs. Been having too much fun and working too hard. So I got to get rid of this. And not just about the LBs, but of course about the heart health as well, right? What's up, Steve? How are you? Mike, I've missed your show a lot. What are your times? Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning is the live broadcast, Steve. And then I do update the daily weather forecast updates Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., noon, 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. And of course, on weekends, I do 7 a.m., noon, 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. Kind of sleep in a little bit on the weekends, right? But yeah, the live broadcast is at 7 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, of course, on all East Tennessee weather platforms. So not just on Facebook. I see a lot of you are on Facebook, which is the free broadcast, of course. Well, they're all free. But of course, don't forget Roku TV, that you can put it up on your smart TV. YouTube, of course, although I think it was Felicia said she didn't like YouTube. And Amazon Fire. Still waiting for Apple TV to come to the market. And of course, you can always watch on the East Tennessee, easttnweather.com, and of course on the East Tennessee Weather app as well. So lots of different places to watch a broadcast. I know Katrina sometimes watches a little bit on Facebook, and I think she switches over to her car and heads off to work and listens to the rest of the broadcast. So if you have CarPlay in your car, you can just kind of put it up on your dashboard. You can't watch, of course, but you can listen to the broadcast. Always a good way to get your weather forecast. I mean, I think if I do say so myself, just saying. Somebody bring me some coffee. I'm out of coffee this morning. It's like I need a coffee maker in here, but I don't really need a coffee maker in here. Probably would drink too much coffee if I had it in here. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else that happened over the weekend. Made a good dinner last night. You probably saw this on the broadcast or on social media yesterday, but yesterday was my wife's birthday. So big shout out to my wife again. She keeps the house under control. She's been a huge supporter, of course, of East Tennessee weather, which has always been nice. Here's a little bit of the pickleball yesterday. Won't play, I don't think. That is supposed to play, but I don't think it plays when I pull it onto the broadcast. But there I am, right there, in action sport, right there. This is the night we went bowling for my wife, and so this was actually a funny. So we went to Family Bowl. What is that off of? I don't even know what street it's in West Knoxville. Anyways, that was where we went on our first date. And so that was 17 years ago, almost 17 years ago, because our anniversary is coming up on August 3rd. Almost 17 years ago, we went there and had photos there. I wonder if I could. I don't know if I could. I don't know where they are. If I could find them, I'll show you, because I would actually show you some of those photos, but I don't know exactly where they are. Had some on here of our engagement photos and stuff like that, but I don't know exactly where they are on my computer, and I don't see them offhand. So anyways, I guess I can't show you those. But anyway, so 17 years ago, we went on that, went there, and so it's always fun. I mean, it's like right in our backyard because we live in West Knoxville anyways, but it's always fun to go out and go to places that, we reminisce about the good old days and about the dates that we have been on. And, of course, that was one of our first dates. I guess that's about all the photos I need to share with you here this morning. Not necessarily totally true. I still have a lot more photos to share. Not a lot more. A few more photos to share with you here before the broadcast is over. We'll send you back to that before I send you back to the 24-hour weather channel. Again, a long, extended weather update today. And so if you don't have time for it, this is on a day-to-day basis. This is for you too, Steve. If you don't have time to join in on the morning broadcast, if you go to the app and go to the daily forecast button at the top of the app itself, I can show you what that looks like. I do a 1 minute with Witcher. And so if you've never seen this, if you open the app up, here's what you get when you open the app up, okay? And I put it there at the top. So if you click on this daily forecast updates, I have my extended forecast, which I think is like 8.5 minutes this morning, 9 minutes or something like that. So long because I had a lot to talk about. But I also get that in with 1 minute with which you're meant to broadcast on your cell phone. So you good morning. Like have a great Monday. After heavy rain leading to some localized. See how it all gives you the latest forecast. So anyways, if you don't ever have time, you can always check out 1 minute with Witcher to get your daily forecast updates every single day. What else we got going on here? Spooky season starts Friday for CreepyCon in downtown Knoxville. Nice. I did see, actually, I was at the store yesterday with my son, and he goes, "Why is Halloween stuff out? Is like Halloween around the corner?" I said, "No. August, September, October, 3 months away, and now we already have Halloween stuff out." They sure know how to get into our back pockets, don't they? Those marketers. I love bowling. Probably one of my favorite things to do is bowling. And if you buy your own ball and you spin the ball, it's always it's more enjoyable. But if you use the house balls, equipment is everything when you're playing sports or certain things. And the same with clothes. Clothes are everything as well. Like it's not always worth spending a lot of money on certain things, but sometimes it is worth it. You spend $5 on a baseball bat versus $200 on a baseball bat. Usually the case, the $200 baseball bat's better. Same with bowling balls. If you can get a weighted ball and get it to spin, if you spin, which is what I do, it just makes for a little bit more fun, if you will. All right, my friends, I guess we're going to wrap things up here this morning. We are going to wrap it up. Remember, this morning's Wake Up with the Witcher sponsor is Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Check them out if you're looking for anything. Can't miss it on the app and, of course, online at easttnweather.com. Don't leave yet. I do have some photos to share with you. But, again, I'm going to send you back to the 24-hour weather channel. If you missed any of the forecast here at all at the very beginning, I dive into all the details to get you up to date on everything we're talking about. To recap, not a ton of stormy weather throughout the day today. Can't rule out some spotty showers and thunderstorms, but it's really overnight tonight and several rounds heading our way tomorrow and again tomorrow night into Wednesday. And flooding is going to be a big concern. Severe weather a possibility, so I'll talk much more about that with your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But I am going to send you off to check out some photos. Again, these are views from your eyes. Thanks to all of you who've been submitting photos through the Witcher's Pictures link using the East Tennessee Weather app. See if I can say my last name right. Witcher's Pictures link using the East Tennessee Weather app. Thanks for joining me this morning on Wake Up with Witcher. It is Monday, July 29th. Can you believe August is right around the corner? Be safe, be kind to each other. Life is short. Take a look at these views. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
You're watching East Tennessee Weather. Weather when you want it.
Good morning. Have a great Monday, everybody. It looks like we're in for much more of the same. Now, I don't think we'll see a ton of coverage of rainfall throughout the day today, but a couple of waves of energy, clusters of thunderstorms are going to produce the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms, and flooding and flash flooding is going to be a major concern as well. So stick with me. I got some video from Dollywood coming up here in just a few minutes. We're also talking about a hot weather pattern setting up shop. While we've had average to below average temperatures over the last, say 7, 8, 9 days or so, 10 days or so, we will continue to start to see those temperatures climb by the middle and latter part of the week. All right, so yesterday we made it to 88 degrees in Knoxville, 85 Chattanooga, 89 Tri-Cities. Knoxville picked up 0.62 of an inch of rain and nearly a quarter in the Tri-Cities area and also Chattanooga. However, The bullseye was places like Hardin Valley, North Knoxville, Powell, Carnes, all the way up into Union County, and also Sevier County, where we did have that flooding that was occurring across parts of the Dollywood area, picking up over the last 24 hours over an inch of rain officially in Pigeon Forge anyways. And so that led to a situation like this in Dollywood. This was sent in by Sophie Elkins Valenti. And look at the flooding that was taking shape around parts of Dollywood. They had to clear the park, get everyone out of there. The flooding went inside some of the stores in Dollywood as well. So torrential downpours led to this flooding and flash flooding issue. And that's really going to be the concern over the next couple of days. Now, the Weather Prediction Center has put us under a level 2 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns throughout the next 24 hours. So let's go ahead and walk you through the future cast. So we don't have any flash flood warnings out there early this morning. We've had a batch of showers and thunderstorms move on through. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this weather segment, that I'm not anticipating a ton of activity. However, what activity we do see, the atmosphere is super water loaded. And so just like yesterday, torrential downpours. I don't think that's the major concern throughout the day today. Today's going to be a relatively quiet day, but it changes overnight tonight and through our Tuesday morning. So through the afternoon hours, we'll pick up anywhere from a half an inch, quarter of an inch, maybe a few pockets of 3/4 of an inch of rain in very isolated locations, and that should be about it. Now, we do have that severe weather risk. The Storm Prediction Center has put us under a level 1 risk for isolated strong thunderstorms. And that's going to take shape overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. I'll explain more on that coming up in just a second. 77 degrees by lunchtime. Forecast high temperatures back in the mid-80s. So we're going to be trending, a little bit below average throughout the day today. But high humidity, just like this past weekend, dew points in the mid-70s. That's going to lead to those feels-like temperatures in a low to mid-90s and maybe even close to 100 degrees in Chattanooga. Through the evening hours, again, not a ton of storm activity, but temperatures do come back down into the 70s and low 80s as we get into the 8 o'clock hour. So remember I said there's that severe weather risk. Well, this is today through tomorrow morning, and the bulk of it's going to come through tomorrow morning. So watch our future cast, 7 o'clock here tonight. Not much activity expected, but overnight tonight, watch this cluster of thunderstorms. So the last couple of days, our storm track has been out of the southwest to the northeast. It is switching with a northwesterly flow pattern that's going to allow these cluster of thunderstorms to roll their way into the area. So that's what it could look like early in the morning on Tuesday. And that's where we do have that risk for some isolated strong to severe storms. Now, Tuesday into Wednesday, we've got another cluster of thunderstorms heading our way. So we do have that flash flooding risk, level 2 for most of the area. And again, a level 1 risk by the Storm Prediction Center to produce the chance for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. 7 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, we're dealing with a cluster of thunderstorms, waves of energy and moisture moving its way on through. That's going to continue to bring in heavy rain through the first part of our Tuesday. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday, another cluster of thunderstorms is expected to roll its way on through, producing the possibility of severe weather and localized flooding and flash flooding risk. Skyrockets each and every day that we get these disturbances because they are water loaded, and so we're talking tropical like downpours. Now let's talk storm threats for just a second, because as I mentioned, we've got basically couple rounds of storms that could produce some strong thunderstorms. Damaging wind would be the main threat. Now, isolated tornado, not likely, but it is possible because we do have some spin in the atmosphere, something to keep in mind. Our freezing level's really high, so hail's not a major player. If we see any, probably some small hail. But what we do have is on the high category is the localized flooding and flash flooding. Efficient rain producers are going to be moving their way on through with any of these storms. And again, when you look at your 3-day forecast, we're going to see those temperatures climb. So by Wednesday, in the Thursday, Friday timeframe, we're talking about incredibly hot weather at near records and near heat advisory criteria. Now, I'll explain more on that coming up here in just a few minutes. If you have to get off to work, you need to leave the house. Thanks for checking in, by the way. I'm going to go to the big picture pattern to kind of give you an idea of how this is all playing out around our region, especially if anybody has any travel plans around the region. So today, our upper level track, storm track, is going to be with that, like I said, that northwesterly flow. So look to the northwest today, northern plateau, to see where all those storms are coming from. There's that flash flood risk. It's not just here locally, but it's around much of the region if you have travel plans around the region. And our severe weather risk, greatest extent of severe storms, Kentucky, Indiana, over into Illinois. And again, that's associated with that cluster of thunderstorms that typically produces damaging wind gusts. Watch this. Storm's going to develop later on this afternoon, this evening to our northwest, and that's what's going to push our direction through the overnight hours. So we start to switch that pattern from a southwesterly flow that we've even seen earlier this morning to a northwesterly flow. Here comes that cluster of thunderstorms overnight tonight, blasting its way through Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, and then down into East Tennessee. Okay, that's what we're going to experience over the next 24 hours. Then as we get into our Tuesday, storm track stays with us, and so that's going to continue to produce more storms. Flash flooding risk is going to stay with us around the region as well, not to mention that severe weather risk with that northwesterly flow and more rounds of clusters of thunderstorms continue to slide our direction. So we pick up our timeline Tuesday morning. There we go. Showers and thunderstorms. Here comes another complex of thunderstorms in the northwesterly flow pattern back behind a frontal boundary that's going to swing its way through. So Tuesday, we'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then Tuesday night, they really start to blast their way on through the area. So several waves of energy and strong storms are on the way. That's why we have elevated rain chances all the way through Tuesday. It will start to fade a little bit Wednesday. Thursday, I think we're going to dry out, and then we'll start to see another return flow with showers and thunderstorms building on into the area. Now, I think Thursday we shut down the rain chances due to the fact that a big, strong ridge of high pressure is going to dominate, and that's what's going to help to boost our temperatures. You can see what that northwesterly flow pattern is going to do, where we're going to see the heaviest rainfall all the way through Friday. Then we take us into Saturday and Sunday. And again, it's going to be the Ohio Valley, upper Midwest, Tennessee Valley, down into parts of North and South Carolina that get the heaviest rain. Dew point trend, we're staying elevated. So we don't have any relief from this extreme humidity. So therefore, as temperatures climb, and as I mentioned, the big ridge of high pressure starts to build on in, that's going to allow those temps to climb into the 90s as we get into our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and right around average for the upcoming weekend. But that pushes our heat index values near heat advisory criteria, which is 105 degrees and or hotter. So we'll definitely keep you posted on that. So a lot of rain early on this week, and then extreme heat starts to build its way back in. You can see by Wednesday, look at the heat index values across much of the region. We haven't talked about this for a while since the beginning of the month, since we've been trending a little bit cooler and a little bit wetter. We are going to stay on the above average side, it looks like, for the first couple weeks of August, so anticipate some extreme heat to work its way back in. As these storms approach, as we go through the overnight hours, you always have to have a way to receive weather information. The East Tennessee Weather app will notify you of storms approaching, lightning, when lightning is within 15 miles of your location. If I need to broadcast live, you can watch it right there from your cell phone. And of course, the interactive radar is amazing, giving you past, current, and future radar of just 2 hours. So we sure hope you have a great day. Again, just to recap, not a ton of stormy activity throughout the day today, but that increases overnight tonight on into our Tuesday and again on into our Wednesday. We did have some amazing photos shared through the Witcher's Pictures link using the East Tennessee Weather apps showing some of the storms that we saw yesterday. Kick back, relax, and watch this.